it arise here? How did the government didn't look at all this, what your lordship were putting to me? Ask for the records. So, Maharaj, why go into a hypothetical situation, Maharaj? He can't, Maharaj, that's not his job. It's the no confidence motion in the House. How is the government satisfaction after election doesn't arise, Maharaj? I'm sorry. As a constitutional principle, it doesn't arise.
One, the governor cannot enter into the thicket of disqualification. Two, the governor cannot do anything which seems to protect those who have incurred the wrath of disqualification. There we are with you completely. Equally, what is of concern to us is that the governor, in all these political wranglings and whatever goes on in the polity, there is a very high constitutional principle, which is that whoever is sworn in as the chief minister must ultimately have accountability to parliament and therefore to the people. Otherwise, what we'll be doing is that the defections have two consequences. The defectors have a personal consequence that they get out of the house, that their seats become vacant. But equally, we cannot gloss over the fact that the defection affects the stability of the government itself. And how does the governor, as the head of the state, ignore the consequence of...
Where is that question that arises here, Maharaj? Where is that question, please? How does it arise here? How did the government didn't look at all this, what your lordship were putting to me? Ask for the records. So, Maharaj, why go into a hypothetical situation, Maharaj? With the greatest respect, Maharaj, your lordships have so much experience. Let's not tread into areas which we are not called upon to tread upon. We are here as to how 39 or whatever 34 go to the governor, and the governor recognizes the 34, knowing that they are in the Shiv Sena. There is the leader of the Shiv Sena, they recognize Uddhav Thackeray. He recognizes the split and administers the oath of office. How does all this enter into this, into the reckoning here?
As a principle, you are saying that the governor could not have got into it, has not got into it,
yes,
number one.
Yes, it's not, yes.
And the premise for that is that the governor cannot do it constitutionally.
That's right.
He should not.
That's all that your lordship is to consider. And I can understand, Maharaj, I can understand the situation. There can be another hypothetical. I'm sorry.
So once there is an existing government, according to you,
yes,
which this was not a government formation for the first time.
That's correct.
Then the governor, short of a no confidence vote which is brought on the floor of the House,
yes,
the governor must ensure that the existing position continues until somebody brings a no confidence vote.
That's the only way. Now your lordships have laid that down. No longer parading, no longer comparing signatures, all that is over. So if they think, if the BJP thought that we had lost confidence, they should have moved a motion.
That is because of Bommai, which said that it's only the floor of the House.
That's correct. So you move a no confidence. How do these issues come in at all? There's no discretion.
So according to you, as a matter of principle, absent a motion of no confidence,
that's right,
the governor must continue with the existing position.
That's correct, because there's an elected government.
All right, we got it. I understand what
now, this is much worse, that he recognizes the split and administers the oath of office.
And thereafter, the floor test was subsequently.
Yes.
That is on 4th.
Yes, on 4th.
3rd or 4th.
Including those 39.
But there, so far speaking by myself, can the governor, correct? Because under the 10th schedule, it is for the speaker to take a decision.
Right.
Correct? Can the governor, correct, on his own, without any disqualification, the speaker can take cognizance that they are disqualified?
Your lordship is right, absolutely right, but they are still the Shiv Sena. That question will still have to be answered. What is that? What are the 39? They are still the Shiv Sena. So then he recognizes the split. That's the problem. That's why the 10th schedule, that's why the whole paragraph, this is the issue. When 3 was eliminated, it was only for the purposes, deleted, it is only for the purposes, majority or minority, you can't destabilize an elected government. And constitutional morality was the linchpin. And that's why I told your lordships, ideally the governor should have said, no further action, get your disqualification decided, then I will see. I told that your lordships earlier.
But suppose the speaker doesn't decide,
Maharaj, now,
But
Maharaj.
listen. Suppose disqualification questions are not decided at all. In the meantime, the governor is satisfied. Correct?
Can't
That,
be.
no. On the basis of the material
He
correct?
can't, Maharaj, that's not his job. It's the no confidence motion in the House. How is the government satisfaction after election doesn't arise, Maharaj? I'm sorry. As a constitutional principle, it doesn't arise. Don't give that discretion to the governor. You will have toppling governments every other day. First the ED will go, then the CBI will go, then the governor will exercise discretion and governments will be toppled. How's the discretion?
It's a speaker versus governor. Speaker versus governor, as I had said. So now the flip side of it is that without any chance for all that to be panned out, the speaker shows over anxiety to take up the matter and immediately disqualify all those who are intending
Well,
to.
the speaker should decide. Your lordships have now said within 3 months. This is the judgment of this court, that within 3 months, speaker must decide. Normally earlier, but latest within 3 months. Justice Nariman's judgment was in
Meghachandra.
Meghanchal matter.
No, I was telling you about the flip side of it is on the one hand, yes, governors over anxiety saying that, okay, you prove the majority.
Right.
On the other hand, we have a speaker exercising that discretion and says, now come on, you immediately show, I will disqualify all of you. So these are the two
But
constitutional
there's
authorities who
one is subject to judicial review, the other is not. Difference is one is subject to judicial review, the other is not.
all are subject to judicial review.
No, Maharaj. But once a new government is formed, Maharaj, if he calls for a trust, new government is formed, Maharaj, what judicial review?
True. Remedy is a different matter. I agree with you that there is a remedy.
Yeah.
But really speaking, it's there.
And Maharaj,
What we need to interpret is the scope of the jurisdiction of the governor and the scope of the jurisdiction of the speaker also.
the speaker, of course, the scope of jurisdiction is clear. He has to decide the matter.
Scope and extent.
He has to decide the matter. How does he call Shinde to administer oath of office? Yes. No, Maharaj, not just kindly come to pay
But I'm
paragraph
not saying anything right now, but factually, my learned-
Please.
yes, all right. I factually
Fact-
made an
fact-
incorrect statement that there was no input given to the governor. There were 2 letters sent to the governor, which the governor has referred to in a letter to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray before he called for a floor test.
Correct,
So
absolutely.
that there is enough material for the
Once-
governor to
once-
decide that this government was
I think
weak.
my learned friends,
have to ask the other side. What was the material before the governor on the basis of which he asked Mr. Shinde to form the government?
Maharaj, no, that's,
One,
Huh.
and particularly when he knew that this was really a breakaway faction of the state.
yes, how does he justify that? The question is, how do you administer an oath of office to Eknath Shinde?
It's on-
No, Maharaj, I can understand. Maharaj, there's another situation. There are multi-parties, Maharaj. Not just in this case, there's in several states, Maharaj, we have a multi-party system, several parties come together. And Maharaj, suddenly a no confidence is moved. Maharaj, or somebody seeks, and in the meantime, some disqualification petitions are pending. At that stage, the governor doesn't bother about the disqualification petitions. There's a no confidence. These fellows will vote. Kindly see, Maharaj, the consequences. We'll take the 39 to be validly members of the House, not disqualified. Disqualification petitions pending. Move a no confidence motion. Now, they can't move a no confidence motion because the 39 will be subject to the whip. So they know that they don't have majority. Therefore, what do? 39 go to the governor and say that now recognize me. So please appreciate, Maharaj, the way to ensure that the government falls is to move the no confidence. Why did they not move it? They could have, the 39 could have voted, they are members of the legislature. They did not move it because they knew that they are part of the Shiv Sena, subject to the whip. The government will sustain, will not fall. So the only way out was this conspiracy. And that was hatched much earlier. That's how they went to Gujarat and Assam. Having done that, they wrote that letter, which I read to your lordships, my lords. I've read that letter that, this present government, the party members are very unhappy with it. We have been not following the ideology of Bala Sahib. All that letter I read to your lordships, my lords. And then they go to the speaker. So whether it's majority, minority, it really doesn't matter, my lords. So how could the trust vote be called? Trust vote means that you have prima facie lost confidence. Governor knows that this government has not. Why we go into the matter, my lords, that the governor will presume that these people will be disqualified? Why do we even presume that? They are qualified till such time as they are disqualified. So move on, no confidence. Either. They did enclose the second one, they didn't enclose. First one, they enclosed. P5, they enclosed. So, Malad, these are the two documents with the commission. Now, if you read paragraph 15, this represents two factions in the party, the minutes of meeting. That's how the election commission, Malad, got jurisdiction, according to them. And Malad, this is a final order. This is kindly just look at it. I can understand if the commission says lead evidence. I can understand, please prove your case. On this basis, a final order is passed, which is the subject matter of challenge in the other proceeding. That's how they got the symbol. So what does the governor do? What does the election commission do? And this is the evidence. And then we have to, we must ensure, we must trust that all institutional authorities function in accordance with the law. And if this kind of manipulation takes place, Malad, in the processes of institutional decision making, where we go, Malad, where we will go, I don't know. What is so close to our heart? Institutional integrity, and to ensure that processes of constitutional processes survive. Otherwise, if your lordships endorse such a position, it will be the death knell of what we have cherished since 1950. Thank you.
Thank you.